Welcome students. We are studying about the first chapter, that is the fundamental unit of life. Here till now we have studied about cell boundaries like cell wall and cell membrane. Also we have studied about the phenomenon of osmosis, hypertonic and hypotonic solution. We know about nucleus also. Now we are going to study different cell organelles today. Different cell organelles. Cell organelles are cell components which are present inside the cell, and these perform various activities, various functions for the cell. These interact with each other by the means of their products and their functions. Various cell organelles are present inside the body. You have some ideas of some cell organelles that you have studied in standard 8. Now we are going to study about a very important cell organelle called mitochondria. Mitochondria is a cell organelle which is present in both plants and animal cells. Another name for mitochondria is powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria is also known as powerhouse of the cell. And why it is known as so? It is known as so because it generates energy for the cell in the form of ATP. During aerobic respiration, mitochondria plays as the site of respiration and it generates energy for the cell. The energy is stored in the form of ATP inside the mitochondria. Wherever the energy is required, mitochondria releases ATP and hence it is called powerhouse of the cell. So another name of mitochondria is powerhouse of the cell. And if you are asked why mitochondria is called powerhouse of the cell, you will tell that mitochondria is responsible for cellular respiration. It generates energy for the cell, and that's why it is called powerhouse of the cell. Energy is stored in the form of ATP, and hence ATP is called energy currency of the cell. Now we are knowing the function of the mitochondria. Let's have a look on the structure of mitochondria. Mitochondria is a rod or sausage-shaped structure. It is surrounded by double-layered membrane. The outer membrane is comparatively shorter. This is the outer membrane you can see. This is comparatively shorter, and the inner membrane is very long, and it has numerous inward folds. You can see the inner membrane has numerous inward finger-like folds. These inward folds are called cristae. Inside the inner membrane, the cavity is filled in with a jelly-like substance called matrix. So, the structure of mitochondria includes outer membrane, inner membrane, cristae and matrix. The matrix contains various substances, inorganic salts, etc., and some enzymes which help in respiration. This is the structure of mitochondria. Mitochondria is a cell structure which contains its own DNA also. Inside the matrix, some amount of DNA is also present. So, mitochondria contains its own DNA, and that is why mitochondria is also regarded as semi-autonomous organelle. So, a few characteristics of mitochondria that we studied is mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell as it generates energy. Energy is generated in the form of ATP, and that's why ATP is called energy currency of the cell. Mitochondria is a rod or sausage-shaped structure. It is double membranous structure having outer membrane and inwardly folded inner membrane. The inward folds are called cristae, and inside the inner membrane a jelly-like liquid called matrix is filled. Matrix contains various inorganic substances, respiratory enzymes and DNA. Since mitochondria contain its own DNA, it is called a semi-autonomous organelles. Now we will study about another cell organelle. Students, the next cell organelle that we are going to study is plastids. Plastids are largest cell organelles considered. These are present only in plant cells. These are absent in animal cells. So, animal cells lack plastids. Plastids are also double membrane structure. See the structure of plastids. It is surrounded by double layered membrane. Outer membrane, inner membrane. Inside the inner membrane, a fluid called stroma is filled. Inside the stroma, some pile of coin-like structures are present. You know, some piles of coin. Various coins are piled one upon another. Such structures are present. A single coin is called thylakoid, and the combination of these thylakoid is called grana. So, inside the matrix, various granas are present. These granas are composed of coin-like structures called thylakoids. All granas are interconnected. You can see over here, granas are interconnected. So this is the structure of plastids. The stroma contains various substances and grana contains various pigments. And depending upon pigments present in the grana, plastids are basically of two types. The very first one is leucoplast. Leucoplast is the colorless plastids. Grana contains no colored pigments over there. Colored pigments are not present. Other pigments are present, but those are colorless. So, leucoplast is colorless plastid and it is responsible for storage of substances, food particles like starch particles, protein molecules. So it performs storage work. Chromoplast contains colored plastids. Now again, on the type of color, chromoplast is differentiated in chromoplast and chloroplast. Means chromoplast are the plastid containing different colors. If the color is green, it is called chloroplast. So chloroplasts are green colored plastids and chromoplasts are plastids having color other than green. Chromoplast is present in the areas where plant is having colors other than green, like in fruits, in flowers especially. Chromoplast contains pigments of pink, orange, purple, yellow, red. So it is present in the fruit and flower part. Chloroplast is green colored plastid and it is present in the green parts of the plant, that is leaves. So chloroplast is present in the cells of mesophyll of leaves. The chloroplast is green due to a pigment called chlorophyll, which is responsible for photosynthesis, which is required for photosynthesis. So basic function of chloroplast, you can say that it helps in photosynthesis. Basic function of chromoplast, it provides color to flower and fruit and it helps in pollination and seed dispersal. Actually, chromoplast and chloroplast are interchangeable. Sometimes we have seen that fruits are green in color and then gradually they change their color. Like a mango. A mango is firstly of green color, and then gradually it changes its color to yellow. So here the chromatoplast is being changed, the chloroplast is being changed into chromoplast. Also, the young stem of plant contains chloroplast to help in the process of photosynthesis. Gradually, when the leaves are numerous in number and they take up the process of photosynthesis completely, the stem loses its green color and becomes dark brown in color. There also chloroplast is changing into chromoplast. So these plastids are interchangeable. So we studied about plastids. Now we know that plastids are found only in plant cells. These are largest cell organelle in plant cells. It is a rod shaped structure, you can say. Sometimes it is oval shaped structure. It is surrounded by two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. Inside the membrane, a fluid called stroma is filled. Stroma contains some pile of coin-like structure called grana. Grana contains various pigments, and depending upon pigments present in it, plastids are of two types, leucoplasts and chromoplasts. Leucoplasts are colorless plastids which help in storage of substances. Chromoplasts are colorful plastids. If the colors are of green, it is called chloroplast, and it is found in the leaves of the plant and helps in photosynthesis. So students, it is all about plastids. Now we know a term, semi-autonomous organelle. We have studied that mitochondria is semi-autonomous organelle as it contains its own DNA. Likewise, plastids are also semi-autonomous organelles. So, in a plant cell, there are two semi-autonomous organelles, plastids and mitochondria. It means they both are having their own DNA. Animal cells, on the other hand, have only one semi-autonomous organelle, that is mitochondria, because plastids are absentochondria. So now we know about structure and function of mitochondria and of plastids. The next cell organelle that we will study today is lysosomes. Lysosomes are commonly known as suicidal bags of the cell. Why these are known as so? Lysosomes are actually a bag-like structure, a sac-like structure surrounded by a single membrane. It is filled in with strong digestive enzymes. Very strong digestive enzymes are present inside the lysosome. The basic function of lysosome is to destroy the worn out organelles of the cell. Whatever harmful substance, foreign particles enter inside the cell, these are put inside the lysosome, and the strong digestive enzyme dissolves those substances. So it helps in cleanliness of the cell also. Its functions are written over here. It helps in the cleanliness of the cell. It engulfs foreign particles which happen to enter inside the cell. Although cell membrane is present over there to filtering out useful and harmful substance, but still if some foreign particles, some harmful substance enter inside the cell membrane or they are formed inside the cell due to various activities, those are engulfed by the lysosome. So it is basic function of lysosome. Along with that, in case of starvation or damage, if cell cannot repair itself, although cell has a ability to repair itself, but if the organelles are damaged up to large extent, or cell is damaged very much, or some important organelles are completely destroyed, it means that there is no chance of survival of cell. Or in case of long starvation, when cell is not getting energy, in such worst situation, these lysosomes burst out. Since lysosome contains strong digestive enzymes, all the enzymes gets scattered inside the cell and it dissolves the entire cell. So, like it performs the suicidal attempt, and that's why lysosomes are called suicidal bags of the cell. It is the common name given to lysosome. Lysosomes are formed with the help of Golgi complex and endoplasmic reticulum. We will study about Golgi complex and endoplasmic reticulum in our next video, where we are going to discuss about some other cell organelles. So basically today we studied about 3 cell organelles: mitochondria, which is known as powerhouse of the cell; plastids, which are present only in plant cells; and lysosomes, which is called suicidal bags of the cell. So go through the video and prepare your notes. Now it's time for your assignment. I am providing you some questions. Write down the answers of these questions. So students, these are your assignment questions. Go through the video. You will get all the answers in the video itself. So try to answer these questions. The first question is, mitochondria is known as powerhouse of the cell. Why? Here you will explain about the functioning of mitochondria and then you will relate why it is called powerhouse of the cell. Second, explain the structure of mitochondria. Here obviously you will explain its structure and you will draw a well-labeled diagram of mitochondria also. Whenever you are asked to explain the structure, you are supposed to draw a diagram. In question number 3, you have to name types of plastids and mention function of each. You will write down the name of different types of plastids, and in front of each you will in 1 or 2 lines just mention the function performed by it. The fourth question is, which cell organelle is called suicidal bag and why? First you will name the cell organelle which is called suicidal bag, and then you will explain why it is called so. In the fifth question, name semi-autonomous organelle of a plant cell, why these are called so. Consider the situation of plant cells and then find out what are semi-autonomous organelles present over here. So first write down the name of those and then explain what is the meaning of semi-autonomous organelles. So students, do all these questions and then we will discuss next cell organelles in our next video. Thank you.